What is going on, everybody? And welcome back to Season 5, Episode 21 of Hit the Books, the podcast all about sports betting, the best bets you should be taking in everything surrounding sports. This week, we're into the Pro Bowl, the best time of the year here, right before the Super Bowl, right after the conference championships, but nothing too crazy happening. So definitely going to touch on some other things in other sports here. But through the NFL, lots of coach talk, head coach, offensive coordinators, defensive coordinators, the whole ball of wax. A little conference championship recap, as well as some news out of the NHL and the NBA, our power rankings in both those leagues as well, and the American Express Open, or whatever they're calling it. Is it the American Express Open, Huff?
Yeah, that was this past week. Yeah.
Okay, it was this past weekend. So definitely some news on that as well. But let's jump in and introduce my co-host here with me this week, Huff and Mackie. Mackie, start us off with this week. What do you got for us?
Yeah, not much going on. College basketball is definitely in full swing now. I know we haven't gotten a lot of plays out, but we're definitely doing some deep diving and getting ready for March Madness. So just stay tuned for those. Other than that, obviously, Aces Patriots in the Super Bowl. Seahawks played great in that divisional round. Sam Darnold looked incredible. I know a lot of people doubted that team. Obviously, not the defense. It's the quarterback play, and not that he's played bad at all, but in the past when it's come down to big moments, he hasn't really played as well. So it's nice to see a 3-touchdown, 0 interception performance, but we'll get into that as well.
Heck yeah, lots of good stuff. Huff, what do you got for us here? Coming into the Pro Bowl.
Yeah, obviously not much for the Pro Bowl. The Pro Bowl's kind of a joke or turned into a joke, and we can get into who was named to be a replacement quarterback for that in a little bit. But overall, solid week in the sports world. Like Mackie said, college basketball has been rolling. NBA, NHL, obviously always consistent there. But, we get the Super Bowl in 2 weeks, Seattle versus New England. We'll touch on that game a little bit more next week when we have Ace back. Obviously, tough to give picks, 10 some odd days out from a game here, especially one with that many implications on the line. But great time in the sports world. Super Bowl 60 right around the corner. It's crazy to think one football game left for the football season.
All righty, lots of good stuff there. We definitely debated whether we do an episode this week, and I think we do. I mean, when I look back, we did, but I could not remember to save my life. All right, but let's get it started here. Let's start with the NHL here. Patrick Kane of the Detroit Red Wings has tied Dallas Mike Modano as the highest scoring U.S.-born player in NHL history. Kane matched Modano by recording his 1,374th point on an assist on a goal by Alex Brinkat late in Detroit's 3-1 loss to the Los Angeles Kings on Tuesday night. He got a couple of months after turning 37, while Modano was 40 when he scored a goal to register number 1374. Any thoughts on that? Patrick Kane kind of been falling off the news. I feel like we don't hear about him much. What do you guys think?
Yeah, he hasn't. I mean, he's on a team that's making some noise though. Those Detroit Red Wings have been on a little bit of a heater. We'll get into them in our power rankings in a little bit. 7-2-1 in their last 10, sitting in second in that Atlantic Conference or Atlantic Division. That's obviously a tough, division with Tampa Bay leading the way. But Detroit's been a fun team to keep their eye out for. That young core that they've built over the past few years, starting to let the light shine through. They still have guys there like Larkin. They brought in veterans like Kane to step in and lead that team. And, the leading point getter in USA hockey history. As far as I can remember, I feel like he was always the most known U.S.-born player. TJ Oshie got his shine in the 2014 Olympics, but I feel like Patrick Kane was always known as the best U.S. hockey player. Now, obviously, we get Matthews, things like that. You got to think he'll catch him in the points, but it's tough to say. Hell of a record, but yeah, those Red Wings are fun to watch.
Yeah, it's nice to see him on a winning team again. Obviously, in my opinion, the greatest born U.S. hockey player of all time, way past his prime, but still breaking records.
Heck yeah, lots of good stuff there. Let's jump into our power rankings here off of that point. Coming in at number 5, those Detroit Red Wings. Number 4, the Minnesota Wild. Number 3, Carolina Hurricanes. Number 2, the Tampa Bay Lightning. And number 1, the Colorado Avalanche. Hopefully, thinking about the power rankings here for this week, some teams on this list are definitely really hot this year, to say the least.
Yeah, it's tough to edge out Dallas sitting there at 30, 14, and 9, but this Detroit team's been fun trying to get a new face in that top 5. Carolina, Minnesota, Tampa, Colorado, obviously. They've been, a mix of them has been our top 3 or 4 spots, with Colorado leading the way, I think, all season. For good reason. They're still 35, 6, and 9, 6 regulation losses, 50 games in. That's an insane, stat record. They're at 79 points, 9 points ahead of the second place teams, with that being the Lightning and the Wild. But yeah, I think a solid top five. Get those Red Wings in there. Those Buffalo Sabres, though, do we want to talk about them? 7-2-1 in their last 10. I mean, it was a heater, but I mean, this has been consistent play. We're into late January, and these Buffalo Sabres are hanging around in a playoff spot.
Yeah, it's definitely a different Sabres team. They're getting good goalie play. Obviously, those guys that they've drafted, obviously they didn't hit 9, 8 years ago, but I mean, you got Rasmus Dahlin playing incredible hockey. You have these young guys, Tage Thompson still playing well. So, you let these guys develop a few years and they're hitting and they started the season terrible, but they've since like I want to say 15 games into the season, they've been one of the best teams in the NHL easily.
Yeah, they're. I haven't watched much of them. I just feel like every night I check the box score and they're winning.
Yeah, I saw they beat the Leafs last night by 3, 7-4, something like that, which drops the Leafs down to 8 games out of a playoff spot, which they haven't missed in over 10 years. So
Yeah.
It's interesting to see, how the league is kind of switching with those teams.
Could you imagine getting odds on the Buffalo Sabres being the best record out of all the New York teams at this point of the season?
At any point, yeah. I mean, just taking that back. I mean, the Islanders are playing great hockey as well, so it's no shoo-in, but I'm sure the Rangers had pretty good
The
odds.
East is insanely tight.
Yeah, I got to look at it real quick.
If you look at the wild card right now, so right now in the Atlantic, 1, 2, and 3, it's Lightning, Wings, Sabres. In the Metro, it's Canes, Pens, Islanders. In the wild cards right now, it's the Habs at the 1 spot and the Bruins at the 2. On the outside looking in, 6 points behind are Florida, Philly, even a little bit further. Then it drops to Philly, Toronto, Washington. There's a bunch of teams sitting in that middle of the pack there, just on the outside looking in. But
with 30 games left, we want to give our predictions for seedings and these teams that are going to make and miss the playoffs.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, I didn't know if you thought about it or something. I
No,
can get off the top of the head right
I
now.
was more.
Do you guys want any odds for anything?
No, not yet. We can just go off the
Okay.
top of the head real quick.
I mean, you got to think Florida gets in.
Yeah, I'm gonna go. I mean, Lightning. They have a point on the Red Wings, and they have 3 games on them. I'm gonna say the Lightning lock up that 1 spot. They're playing pretty good hockey.
I agree. I think the Lightning are the 1 in the Atlantic.
I think
the Canes are the 1 in the Metro.
Yeah, for sure. They'd have to blow that up, and I don't see that happening. I think the Red Wings can stay in that 2 spot. I really do. I don't think. I mean, they have 10 points on the Florida Panthers, and I don't see the.
The only thing is they have 2 games on Buffalo, but I don't think Buffalo's going to catch them.
Yeah, I mean, Buffalo's playing incredible hockey right now. They'd have to keep the same pace as they. I mean, I guess they've kind of done it for the last 35, 40 games, but I don't know. I think the Bruins are playing above their head right now. I could see them getting a playoff spot, but I also wouldn't be surprised if they get knocked out. If it comes down to like they have 4 points on the Panthers with like 5 games left, I think they end up losing that.
Yeah, me too.
But I think I haven't watched much of the Penguins. I didn't even know that they were playing this well.
They're rolling.
I think you've seen this a few times, even maybe not last year, but the year before. They started the season great. They even like 50 games in, they still had a playoff spot, and they kind of started to crash and shit the bed. I think they missed the playoffs by like a point or 2. Do you see that as a scenario this year, or are they locked in?
It's tough. I don't know. I think they're definitely a better team than they were the past 2 years. I think the coaching change has been a huge part of that. Coach of the Year candidate Dan Muse, who's stepped in. Not many people had expectations for this Penguin team. I thought most people, we were campaigning for Gavin McKenna over here for a number 1 pick, and we're sitting here at number 2 in the Metro right now. I mean, I definitely think I'm confident in them to lock up a playoff spot. Will they go anywhere? I think hockey's obviously the one sport. Once you get there, it's anyone's game. With the way Skinner has been playing since we got him, he's been, one of the hottest goalies since we've brought him in from Edmonton. You pair him up with a guy like Seelovs, 2 kind of castaway goalies that, needed a change of scenery. They've come here, found a home. We still have Miroshov down there if an injury were to come up to one of those 2 guys. So I like our chances. They've found a good way to mix the youth of a guy like, guys like Kindle who are 18 and some of these other young players. They bring in a Chinikov from the Blue Jackets, who's been a spark plug on that Malkin line. Malkin's been playing great. Crosby's been playing great. They've mixed the old players very well with a young core or a young, set of players around them to help them, get where they need to go. And I think it's working well for them. 26, 14, and 11. They find ways to get to overtime too. That's another thing. When they lose games, they find ways to get it to overtime.
Yeah, that point, I mean, once in a while it's not that big, but if you're getting it in and out, I mean, that point's huge. It adds up all the time. I think what do they have? 12 points after regulation?
Yeah, 11.
Yeah, that's
they have 11 just in losses. So
you're not even near a playoff spot with those 11 without those 11 points.
No,
right.
So it's big.
You'd have 52. We'd be
sitting
ahead
down there
of
with
you.
the Rangers.
We'd be only ahead of you in second to last place in the East.
Yeah, the East is tight, very tight.
Heck yeah, boys. The NHL's heating up here as the NFL season's coming to a close here in a couple weeks. I've been seeing so many more tweets about NHL stuff. I don't know why, but alrighty, jumping over the NBA here. The first point we have Milwaukee Bucks forward Giannis. I can never say his last name.
Giannis Antetokounmpo.
Okay, has informed the team that he wants to be traded ahead of the February 5th NBA trade deadline. Where could we see Giannis go? What are your guys' thoughts?
Mackie, is it going to happen? They said the Warriors have the best package for him.
They don't. Do you see what they offered him?
No.
A Jimmy Butler on a torn ACL and Jonathan Kuminga with picks. Kuminga wants out of Golden State, and Kuminga's better than people think. But if Jimmy Butler didn't just tear his ACL, maybe they'd have a better chance.
Yeah. I mean, it's an enticing package, but I forgot Jimmy Butler's hurt.
The Knicks have enough to offer. Obviously, you're losing Cat. You'd probably have to get rid of McCall Bridges as well.
I was just gonna say, do you lose Bridges too?
What did we? Do you remember what we gave up for Bridges?
More first-round picks than the Lakers gave up for Luka, and who was the other big
AD.
trade that just happened?
Well, it was like that whole AD or not AD.
Who just got traded?
Trae Young?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You could give him more first-round picks in one trade for Mikal Bridges than two teams got for those two players combined.
That's what people are saying. They're like, well, we're going to give up Mikal Bridges, who we literally cost us the point.
That was the point when NBA teams they were like, we do not give a fuck about draft picks.
Also, at this point, like, I don't think that matters. That's happened and it's done. If we can make our team better at this point, do it.
Yeah,
and
for sure.
I saw the haul would also include Drew Holiday because it would be a 3-team trade.
If you think like the Knicks are in their window right now, like they have the core of Brunson, the role players around him, you have your star. You bring in another star like that. I mean,
if we bring in Giannis, we will win the championship. I swear to God.
I think you will too.
Dude, when you still have like Josh Hart, you still have OG Anunoby, Miles McBride playing incredible. Tyler Kolek has come onto the scene as well when McBride went down. He doesn't get as many minutes anymore, but he's still playing incredible basketball. Yeah. The supporting cast is there. I know that the bench isn't the deepest, but that starting five is just ridiculous. If you can have Brunson up top and have Giannis down low, it wouldn't even be fair. I think it'd be incredible, but Dolan needs to make a move. I don't know if he's willing to give up McCall, but they kind of have to. They're not playing as well as they did in the beginning of the season.
Yeah, I mean,
2 weeks ago we lost 9 out of 11.
You can bring in an MVP guy that's won a ring before. Yeah, I think it's a no-brainer.
Yeah, 2 weeks ago we lost 9 out of 11 games.
The NBA is the one league where you're like in other leagues, it's not as easy as just bringing a star and you'll immediately be contending / winning a championship. The NBA is like that.
Yeah, and
you
the
can
fact
truly
that
just add a guy like Giannis to a team like the Knicks, and they will be in the Eastern Conference Finals. Probably, at least win 3 games in the Eastern Conference Finals, and then it's up to whoever to get that 4th one.
Well, the thing is that, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but the Knicks are already capable of winning 3 games in the Eastern Conference Finals.
Yeah.
So you bring in a guy like Giannis. I know you're going to have to lose assets as well.
I'm not going to immediately say they'll win and dethrone the Thunder, who have looked so good for the past year and a half.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, you still have a juggernaut over there, but it would.
That's why I say they'll get to the win the East Conference Finals, whatever / put up a hell of a series. In the worst case scenario, they lose it.
In my opinion, the Knicks could not compete with OKC in a championship right now, and adding Giannis would maybe not put them over the top just yet.
I mean,
but
it takes like Chet and Hartenstein like halfway out of the picture.
Oh yeah, definitely.
The two biggest problems you guys would have with them.
Yeah, I mean, do you know of any other locations that he could go?
No, I didn't. I saw obviously Miami. Miami's always in the mix on these big trades.
Lakers were in talks too, but the Lakers, I don't even know what they would be able to give up.
It can't happen for the Lakers.
I don't even know what they would be able to give up.
Yeah, like just a million draft picks.
Is he a free agent after this year?
It would be like, huh?
Is he a free agent after this year?
I don't know. Jessica, can you fact check that?
Say it again.
If Giannis is a unrestricted free agent at the end of this year?
If he is, then he will be traded at the deadline.
Oh, for sure.
There's no.
I think with how the player that he is, like Mr. like nice guy, everyone loves him. He was so good with the media. He's never done anything bad. Like he's not like a John Morant requesting a trade. Like I think when that kind of guy turns on a team, it's like
he signed an extension.
Oh shit, I forgot about that.
So he's on a
contract through 27-28.
So he, they might not
3 more years.
They're not moving him to the deadline unless they actually get an offer that they can't.
2 more years. 2 more years under contract.
Yeah.
No, I think he'll be gone in the offseason if he doesn't get moved by the deadline.
Oh, okay.
But
yeah.
My whole thing I think
he's played his last game as a Buck.
It's hard to trade a player like that in the middle of the season. It doesn't happen often. It happened with Luka, and that's about it. Name another player that's happened with. You probably can't.
Yeah, not to that size.
At this point, I think they're going to have to be offered more than, I don't even know if you could say this, but even more than what he's worth to take an offer on him.
Yeah.
But Shams did tweet
the Luka thing was also so shocking because Luka didn't request a trade. You know what I mean? Like this wouldn't be as shocking as that, but it would be as big of a trade.
That was more Nico Harrison just thinking he was a mastermind and seeing things that other people didn't see.
His plan worked out. He got what he wanted with Flag, but
he also got fired. So
yeah,
it didn't work out that well. But
yeah,
I don't know. I just think it's going to be hard to see him get traded, even though, I mean, players don't, no matter what you want, doesn't matter who you are, you don't have all the rights in the world. You don't run things. You're still owned by an NFL team or by an NBA team.
Alrighty, boys. Lots of good stuff there. Quickly, our power rankings here. Number 5, the Houston Rockets. Number 4, the Denver Nuggets. Number 3, the Detroit Pistons. Number 2, the San Antonio Spurs. And number 1, the Oklahoma City Thunder. Any thoughts on that? You guys did a pretty good job of going over the NBA there. But what do you think?
I did see the Spurs in the conversation for Giannis. I don't know what they would give up. It would probably have to be like Stephon Castle, a bunch of picks. Could you imagine Greek Giannis and Wemby?
I just don't love like twin towers like that. I'd rather like
the Spurs won championships with that, so it's like
the Spurs won championships with way more than just who
I know, but they had David Robinson,
like
Tim
Oscar,
Duncan, and
David and Robertson and Tim Duncan. What was that? 99. That's it.
Yeah,
because he wasn't on like the 2014.
Tim Duncan was like the young guy. Tim Robinson was like the vetting, or David Robinson was like the old vet. The other one I saw was the Rockets. So they're I've seen a lot of in play, but I'm hoping he goes to the Knicks. I think that would be cool if he goes to the Knicks. Especially because I think it would be funny because all these athletes, whenever they get drafted, he says, I want to play in Milwaukee my whole life. I want to stay in a small market. I don't like a big market. Then he's going to go play for the Knicks.
Yeah. You're going to go to whoever you have the best chance of winning with.
As soon as he gets traded to the Knicks or Miami, one of these big markets, you're going to see that exact interview quote start to resurface that he wanted to be a Buck his whole life. And
like, what else do you expect these guys to say? Like, he's not going
to be like, fucking about, like he's that whole team. Like, they're going to learn real quickly what he means to that franchise when he leaves.
Do you see the roster right now besides him? The best players. I forget.
Bobby Portis?
No, there's a big man. I forget who the hell it is. Oh, Miles Turner.
Who's your boy? DiVincenzo's on the Timberwolves. I thought he was still with the Bucks. That was a while ago.
He got drafted by the Bucks.
Alrighty, lots of good stuff out of the NBA. Let's jump over to the golf world here real quick. The top-ranked golfer in the world ran away with the American Express Open on Sunday afternoon in Southern California, which marked his first start of the 2026 PGA Tour season. Scheffler, who started one shot back of the lead at the Pete Dye Stadium course, posted 6 under 66 in his final round to get to 27 under on the week. This gave him a 4-shot win over the rest of the field in what was just his latest dominant win. The $1.7 million check he earned on Sunday also officially pushed him over $100 million in official career earnings on tour, something only 2 other golfers in history have ever accomplished, those other 2 being Tiger Woods and Rory McIlroy. Any thoughts on that, Huff?
Yeah, I was gonna bet him going into the weekend. I'm terrible at remembering golf tournaments start on a Thursday morning, and that I need to do it like as soon as we finish doing this, put a golf bet in, but didn't end up doing it till Saturday. I got him at plus 120. Blades Brown obviously was right there with him. The 18-year-old that kind of jumped onto the scene. He had a tough Sunday to close out his round, but started out the weekend with a 67 on Friday and a 60 on a 67 on Thursday, 60 on Friday. For an 18-year-old that just turned pro and graduated high school 2 weeks ago. I think that's a name you're going to be hearing a lot in the coming weeks, but a lot going on with the PGA Tour. You got guys like Brooks coming back this weekend at the Farmers, whatever it is, Farmers Insurance Open, I think is this week. But Torrey Pines, you have, Patrick Reed just announced he's going to be leaving LIV and coming back to the PGA Tour. He's not eligible until I think August, they said, maybe even next year. He might have to miss a whole season, but it looks like LIV Golf is dead. Dan Rappaport was right. PGA is coming back. A lot of these guys are going to start trickling back. I hate to see that, or I hate the fact that Bryson's ended up staying. I really wanted to see him come back, but we still get to see him at the majors. But a lot going on in the golf world. I'm excited for this weekend. No Scotty this weekend on the playing at Torrey Pines. Brooks, like I said, is coming back here. So to give you a little pick, I did sprinkle some on Ludwig Aberg. I think I got him at plus 1,900 to win this. The favorite was Xander when I took it. He was like plus 1,400 as the favorite. So anytime Scheffler's not in a tournament, you get some great value on some golfers to win.
Yeah, I took Scotty last weekend too. You got him a plus money on a Sunday. I got him at plus 105. So
yeah, I think I took it at plus 110, and I used like a 10% boost, and then actually got it at plus 120.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
I took it like Saturday after the round finished. When I saw he was 21, Blades Brown was 21, and Siwoo Kim was
23.
Was it Kim was 22?
Yeah, 23. No, somebody had 20. What was Scotty at?
Scotty was 21 with Blades Brown.
All right, yeah, then he was 22. Siwoo Kim was 22.
Siwoo Kim was 22. I couldn't remember if it was him. Yeah.
Heck yeah, lots of stuff happening here in the golf world. It's starting to ramp up here end of January. So definitely lots to look forward to, and we have more to talk about there. All right, let's jump over to the NFL here. The big topic lately is all the coaches here of this Pro Bowl week here. The Pittsburgh Steelers being the first ones here. They named their next head coach, bringing in Pittsburgh native Mike McCarthy in as the franchise's next head coach. What do we think about this signing? Did you see it coming? Mackie, what are your thoughts?
Good luck. I mean, Huff, it sounds like you're trying to be a little optimistic about it, but you're not the answer.
You're not wrong, but you got to be optimistic, right? I mean,
I'm definitely going to try to be optimistic about it. I'm starting to. I definitely like it more than the initial, news of it. I was kind of wanting the Steeler way of getting a young, guy that's going to be here for the next so long. But the way I'm spinning it, and that you're referencing, I'll let the listeners know, is I feel like the Steelers kind of are approaching this like they wanted a guy that's developed quarterbacks, made draft picks before it, big swing draft picks, landed quarterbacks, not necessarily any of the big guys. He's more a developer offensive mind. So I think they're trusting him to make their draft pick, whether it be this year in Pittsburgh in 2026 at the draft, or whether that comes next year after a tough season. I'm just hoping they do not bring Rodgers back. That's the one thing that scares me, is the writing's on the wall to bring Rodgers back. You bring him in the coach that he won a Super Bowl with. I'm hoping we get a year of, give Will Howard a chance, give Mason Rudolph a chance. Let's win 4 games, and let's go into 2027 with, the number 1 pick, whatever we can get, a top 5 draft pick. Steelers have 13 picks in this year's draft. A lot in the first 3 rounds, so no one only in the first round. I think we have 2 in the third, 2 or 3 in the fourth. We have a lot of picks this year. A lot of cap space next year coming or should be coming, pending any new deals that they make. But I don't hate it. I don't love it. I'm truly just gonna wait and see.
Definitely an interesting one here. I know. I mean, it's crazy to me, Mackie, you being a Cowboys fan, and him, of course, coming to Pittsburgh, like of all people.
And when he was in Dallas, all I was doing was bitching about how
yeah, exactly. And I'm like, jeez. So just hasn't put a good taste in my mouth, to say the least. But got to be optimistic. I mean, we only go to every freaking home game, so just how it is, I guess. I don't make the rules. All right, but we got some more coach signings here. The Cleveland Browns are our next one. They named Todd Monken as the franchise's next head coach. Monken spent the last 3 years as the offensive coordinator in Baltimore, but this will be his first head coaching gig in the NFL. What do we think about this hire for the Brownies?
I think this is hilarious.
Who the hell is this guy?
The Ravens offensive coordinator. He's been the Ravens hated him for the past 2 years. Obviously, he got Lamar as his MVP. I work with a Ravens fan. He said they couldn't wait to get rid of Monken. He was hoping he was going the past however long, whether it was this season, last season. I don't know exactly when it was, but seeing the Browns have a chance at, they interview Skillhouse. They were going to promote Jim Schwartz from defensive coordinator. They end up going with Monken, and I don't know what the Browns' plan is. They have a Pro Bowl quarterback, though. Something I can't say.
Yeah, this name did not ring a bell when it came up to me. But alrighty, moving over. The Buffalo Bills here, they promoted their offensive coordinator, Joe Brady, to head coach. He'll be a first-time head coach with a franchise that has Super Bowl expectations. Can Brady help Allen take the next step as Brady moves into the head coaching slot?
This is obviously, I think, the toughest head coaching position to step into, especially for a first-time head coach. A team that's, Super Bowl or bust the past however many years with guys with a guy like Josh Allen, as you said. A guy that's been there, though, he's been in the building. He understands the expectations, what that city of Buffalo or what the Bills mean to that city of Buffalo. I think this was their best chance or best opportunity. They were interviewing guys like Dayball and a couple others. I like the move to go with Brady, promote from within, let him build a true offensive staff, because obviously McDermott was a defensive guy coming over from the Panthers a couple of years back. Joe Brady's going to get his spin on things, make the Bills, I think, focus on that offensive side of the ball, build that team around Josh Allen. I think they'll be better off because of it.
I think they didn't have a choice than to hire from within after that scandal went down with, trashing McDermott on his way out and the whole thing with Keon Coleman. Naming an NFL coach that wants to go in a situation where your owner is bashing you on your way out the door. They definitely got into some turmoil. It's just like the worst PR training of all time. But at that point you kind of had to hire from within. I know he's kind of the next guy up, and it's not the worst. It's not the worst situation ever. But looking at it from like a coach's perspective, I would never want to coach for that team.
Oh yeah, if I saw the owner like that and then bashing players and stuff.
And who makes look the best is Stephon Diggs. After he bashed that organization on his way out the door and saying they don't have their players' backs and all that shit, but
he's looking like a king.
Yeah,
it's hard to make Stephon Diggs look like a sane person,
right? Alrighty, yeah, definitely lots of moves here happening in the coaching world. Mike McDaniel's the offensive coordinator for the Chargers. That's really the only one I can think of that we didn't go over here so far that I care to talk about. All right, but let's jump over to the conference championships here. Sunday's NFL conference championship game stretched from the Mile High City to the Pacific Northwest. The Denver Broncos hosted the New England Patriots in the AFC title game, while the Seattle Seahawks took on the Los Angeles Rams for the NFC crown. It marked the 29th time since 1975 that both number one seeds have reached the NFL's conference title round. Denver and New England met for the 6th time in the postseason and the 3rd time in the AFC Championship game. The matchup was also their first playoff meeting since the AFC Championship in January 2016, when Peyton Manning bested Tom Brady in the final matchup of their careers. Let's start out with that game. What do you guys think about this AFC Championship game? Aces Patriots taking it. Such a low-scoring game. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I thought the snow came at the right time for that Patriots team. They obviously come out and get the win. Unfortunate scenario for that Broncos team having to trot Stidham out there. Just only scoring 7 points is tough. Anytime you have a defense that good that only lets up 10 in a game that big. I know they were on their home field, but they still end up covering. Do they win that game with Bo Nix? I'm not even going to say that because we'll never know. Then doesn't matter here. Patriots are moving on. They did enough in this game to get the job done. I would have liked to see the Broncos, take the points there at that one possession where they went for it on fourth down. Take the points there. I know, you didn't know a blizzard was coming. Maybe they did. I don't know. That would have been an even better scenario to take the points. But, I guess we'll never know. Patriots move on. They win the AFC. The Patriots run has not been, impressive, and that's not anything against them. They're just not. The offense isn't blowing anyone out of the water. The turnover issues with the offense has been there. They've played some great defenses. Hats off to that the Patriots offense for getting it done. But in this Super Bowl, I think we're going to see that Patriots defense go up against the first legit offense they've played probably since the Bills, and that's mostly just because of the guy under center. Seahawks are a lot different with Darnold under center and just skill players all over the place.
Yeah, I don't want to say this in a way where I'm shitting on the Patriots, but I'm just gonna sound like a hater. I don't really give a fuck. I don't think they've really. I just don't think that they've really deserved to be in this situation. I really don't. I think, the defense has been decent all year. They've played a lot better come playoff time. But, you get Justin Herbert, who we all know how I feel about him come playoff time.
And didn't have an offensive line.
I'll give him that. But he also missed some very, very bad throws in that game where if he made one, you're moving on. It was that simple. Because, I know it got out of hand later in the game, but for most of that game, it's a one-play difference right there. Week 2, defense obviously plays great again. But, your quarterback turns the ball over 3 times, but he fumbles 4 times. I don't know. I don't think Drake May's getting a lot of love, but I just don't. People aren't talking about enough how bad he's played and got into the Super Bowl. It's definitely never been done before. There's no way a quarterback has ever played this bad and got into the Super Bowl on a playoff run.
You mean like the turnover aspect? Or just in general?
Not even. Did he even turn the ball over last game? 86
see.
passing yards. I don't care if there's a blizzard out or not. It shouldn't win you a conference championship game.
Yeah.
He came up big with his feet a few times. I'll give him that. He iced the game out with his feet. He's good at that, but I don't know.
I do think he's good.
No, don't get me wrong. Drake May had a great season. There's obviously a bright future there, but I don't know. I guess I'll just be the hater.
You're not believing in him at all. I do. Like,
no,
do
not
you
at
think
all.
they have no chance in the Super Bowl?
What'd you say?
Do you think they have no chance in the Super Bowl?
I would be very, very surprised if they win the Super Bowl.
I would not.
Very
I wouldn't.
And I go to school with a lot of kids from Boston, and this one kid die hard everything Boston, and we were talking about it in class, and he was like, yeah, I would be very surprised if they won this game.
I think that's the realistic fan in him, though. Like, you know what I mean? I understand. Like, I feel like every fan has doubts about their own team more than other people do.
Yeah, the realistic fan, not the
ace.
I don't know. I also don't think this defense is as good as they're playing. Don't get me wrong; they're playing incredible. They've given up 8.9 games in the play, or 8.9.
That's where like
playoffs.
That's where I had my doubts about the Patriots going into this season was the defense. Like, I didn't think this defense was going to be this good. Like Robert Spillane, I know they have Gonzalez in the defensive line. I do like Barmore. I'm blanking on the other guy's name. Milton Williams, the defensive tackle they brought in from Philly. I do like a lot of the Carlton Davis. I wasn't big on that signing either. I guess as a second corner, it's good, but Robert Spillane, they gave him a lot of money. Carlton Davis, same thing, gave him a lot of money. I wasn't big on those two signings, but they're stepping up big in this especially in these playoffs. I mean, like we said, they haven't really the list of players, situations. The Chargers without the offensive line, the Texans without Nico Collins, and the Broncos without Bo Nix. I mean, I'm not saying it, but
Texas without Nico Collins isn't enough to make an excuse. It's more just
you can add it to the list.
Your quarterback
if
turns
you're
the ball
bringing
over
up that
5
point,
times.
it helps the point.
Yeah, for sure. But I would never use that as like, oh, they beat, the Chargers without an offensive line, Texans without. Like, I would never be like they didn't have Nico Collins. That's why they lost. What I mean?
No, I know what you mean.
All right, question: have either of you looked at odds for the Super Bowl yet?
Yeah,
4.5. That's all I
Okay.
know.
Never mind. I was going to ask if you did.
I would have said it. I would have said it. I probably said 3.5 or 4.
The 4.5 says a lot because usually when it's like 3.5, they're like right around there. But if they're giving them that extra point there,
I think people would spam the Seahawks minus 3.5 if it was 3.5.
I mean, the only scenario I could see the Patriots winning this game is Sam Darnold.
Yeah, that could happen.
Well, I mean, can it? He's played incredible for 3 straight games.
He also hasn't had to do much either, though.
What do you mean?
The past 2 games, he hasn't done that much. His stat lines aren't that crazy.
Look at his stats from last game. He's
Yeah,
the only. He's the
I'm
only
saying the
reason they won
49ers
that
game. He had to do next to nothing in that 49ers game.
Okay, but that's also. I mean, a conference championship game against a divisional rival, and you put up 3 touchdowns, 350 yards, and 0 turnovers.
I meant the
won that game.
round.
Yeah, but I mean,
he had to do he didn't have to do anything.
You look at his past, and you look at last year, week 17 for the division, shit the bed. First round of the playoffs, shit the bed. You have doubts for a reason.
I'm taking the Seahawks team every game these playoffs. They've been the only consistent spread I can hit is the Seahawks, whatever they're favored by.
I think I would be very, very surprised to see. And, you got like Gonzalez, who's played great throughout the playoffs. JSN is probably going to put you to work. He's unguardable.
Yeah, I mean, we'll get into the game and picks and all that a little bit more next week because I'm sure this line's going to move a little bit.
Yeah, started at 5. I mean, only half point there so far, but lots to look forward to here for the Super Bowl. Any thoughts on the Pro Bowl?
No.
0.
Shedeur Sanders is the Pro Bowl, or the Pro Bowl is a joke.
Even have like player props and shit.
They play flag football and dodgeball. It's on Disney XD.
No way.
Yeah.
That's hilarious. I didn't know that.
My last memory of a Pro Bowl is Drake May slipping through those 2 guys that just didn't want to tackle him and running for like a 90-yard touchdown.
Mac Jones.
Who did I say?
Drake May.
Oh, you know what I meant. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mac
the
Jones.
Gritty. When he did the Gritty.
Mm-hmm.
That was actually kind of funny.
Big man.
Alrighty, boys. Anything else to add here this week? Conference championship, or did we go over the other game? You guys did.
Yeah, we touched on it.
Cool. All right. Anything else to add here? Conference championships last week, Super Bowl here next week, Pro Bowl this week, NHL heating up, NBA still heating up as well, golf also heating up, college basketball heating up. Anything else?
I think that's going to do it. Thanks for listening. I'll see you guys. No live stream Sunday, I guess, if there's no football. But we'll see you guys next week for a Super Bowl 60 preview.
If we
we'll get Ace back, see if a Beaks around, get him in on a little bit of Super Bowl talk. But thanks for listening. We'll see you guys next week.